welcome. Hey, thanks for clicking. What's happening? What's up? My name's RJ. This is Gut Instincts Podcast. You should know that because you clicked the button. Hey, we're back again. If it's your first time, hello and sending lots of abundance. If you're coming back, oh no! Wow. Dropped a bunch of stuff. Yep. Guess I wasn't prepared for this one, huh? You know what? That's okay. Oh, man. That's alright. Right? You gotta test. You know what it is? I'm thinking about the intro too much. The first thing I say to you, I was like, going into here, I'm like, oh man, I know what I want to talk about, but usually I just go with it, and the feeling just comes, and I thought about it too much. I wasn't paying attention. I hit something, crashed something over. Yep. That's okay. No big deal. Just a little ash, my friends. Just a little ash. Just a little biochar. Just a little life. Hey, welcome. Gut Instincts Podcast. My name's RJ. If you're kicking in, tuning in for the first... Wait, I already said that. Oh, okay. Let's try this again. Hey, thanks for hanging out. How was your New Year's? Happy New Year's, right? Woo! You like that? No. Well, I send you lots of love on the quote-unquote New Year's, but hey, I like kind of following the seasons, so, I feel the seasons in the flow of seasons a little more celebratory versus the, the whole time and day thing, the countdown. I'm not putting it down or anything. I want you to have fun and enjoy it, and it's always fun. But I've always just kind of been like, I don't know, you count down to the seconds. What I'm saying is I always felt like something was up, right? Before I knew that time is not linear. It's an illusion. We are timeless beings, energy beings. We are experiencing this life. And we are reacting to it, or it is reacting to us, or we are reacting to it. Basically, it's like we watch it just as you are watching sort of a television show or something, and when it kind of throws you a bone, you react to it, right? So, that being said, vibrate that higher frequency and that abundance, so that way, when it gets projected out into the universe, it comes back, and you get your abundance. Hey, do you have your J rolled up? I hope so. Today we're dedicated on some pretty special plant that I was gifted a while ago. It's my oldest that I've been saving for such a time like this. Well, it's not all of it, but this is an important one today, folks. All right, this is an important one. Today's show, we're going to talk about DMSO, how it correlates with healing, how that correlates with the absorption through the cells, sort of on a molecular level. I'm not going to go too deep into it. that is up to you, my friend. If you find something, here's the way it works. If you find something that resonates to you, a word, sentence, subject, just go seek it. Go find out some answers for yourself. If you'd like to inquire anything that I've chatted about, just reach out to me. Go on the website rjmartins.com and check out all that stuff. The store will be up soon, and I'm just super stoked to share with you the abundance that is healing that I've come across throughout the years. Okay? We have much to talk about as far as my story is concerned, but if I've if you've sort of looked into it a little bit, you'll notice that I've had fistulas and abscesses, and this has been reoccurring things throughout my life, and I was diagnosed with Crohn's when I was young, and having an autoimmune disease and just dealing with this sort of conflict of what to do while finding out that conventional medicine hasn't been really helping but mostly hurting you is pretty detrimental, not just to the mind but the body. So throughout my journeys, I've sought answers and followed my gut, and there you go. That's pretty much the basis of this Gut Instincts podcast, and the name behind it, and the energy and the love behind it. It's because I've always followed my gut, and I mean not always, but I've always questioned consciousness or reality. Now I want to spread the knowledge or the experiences that I've gone through to you. Question your reality and what's questioning you, because remember, you know the truth, and I mean you're either learning or you're getting triggered to seek out the truth. But essentially, don't take what anyone else says is the truth. That's just false. So, basically, what I'm getting at is, in this episode, we're chatting about DMSO, Dimethyl Sulfoxide. Write it down. Check it out. I've got my giant book with me, actually, so I can sort of give you little bits here and there of insights, because I don't want to leave it completely in the air. But I'm also not going to throw terms your way, and I'm not going to beat a book, right? This one I have is from Dr. Morton Walker. Dr. Walker is unbelievable, and this book, I've read it already 3-4 times, and I still need to read it about 6 to 8 more times, right? And that's what happens when you come across another book. I'm looking for a couple other books, actually, that 1 or 2 that have been banned from the United States by the supposed powers at play that are falling apart now. I'm going to get it. It's a little bit harder to find, but this is the stuff you got to look up. This is the stuff you got to find on your own. And DMSO is not only a pain reliever, but it increases circulation, repairs tissues, and essentially creates a healthy cell, right? That's what we're going to get into. DMSO, it's a natural forming substance. It's actually the byproduct, if you will. Not really a byproduct, but it's the result, I guess, really. Yeah, it's the result of the wood pulp. When you make wood pulp, the result is this substance that's sort of garlicky, tasting or sensing. I don't know. It's not, to me, that's not really what what it kind of tastes smells like. You can, uh, it is, it's absolutely wonderful. Right now it's only approved for veterinary use, right? For like horses. Horses, like for horses' knees. Oh man, listen, if you're here and you're listening to me, you better get ready to go down at least a couple of twists and turns, because I'm gonna bring you down. I'm not gonna put a mask on you and bring you all the way down the rabbit hole. But I'm gonna lead you to the right terms, and you know what? And hopefully something resonates with you, and you dig it, and yeah, because that's what it's all about. I'm just here to share what I've been through, and it's like if I could have come across the information that I did, and yeah, it would have helped me out a lot, and that's what it's all about. It's about sharing this knowledge and spreading the knowledge. And if you haven't noticed, that's how things are the way they are, is because if you close the truth behind the doors and sort of keep an illusion out in the open, it's easier to manipulate kind of what's being seen, right? Just think of social media. Think of social media. How many times have you been duped, right, by someone or something who seems absolutely one way on social media, and yet is a completely other way in real life? Now, I don't know what the deal is behind all that situation. It goes deep. Seeing as consciousness, our profiles or our internet, this internet stuff is an extension of our mentality, or of our consciousness. So when you're producing what you're producing, and you're projecting it for the world to see, it's actually the projection of an inner self. And if it doesn't match the current reality, what you do is you cause this chaos, or this shift that sort of disconnects the mind and body, or this disconnects the soul, the self, and the mind from the body and the physical. So, my beloved friends, I saw a lot of people want to do some detox, some digital detox. I'm digging it. I try to keep, for the most part, I keep my distance. I don't think I'll need a detox, maybe sometime. For me, it's more of a stepping back. I've done so much detoxing throughout the years that I just, yeah. My little RJ inside is just like, he's like, you get it. You don't need to crash the walls anymore. If you can tear down the wall ever so slightly, ever so easily, and if you got to do it rough, sometimes it's okay. The 1, 2, 3 pulling of the Band-Aid isn't a destruction of the Band-Aid. It's not breaking down the whole leg, rebuilding it, or like. But you got to do that. If you got to do it, if your soul resonates with it, I can't believe this. With it. Tomato, right? I was talking to my friends, my good friend the other day, about the English language, because we talk about spells, right? If you heard me say that before, hopefully, if you're spelling, Spells is to cast spells. Watch out what you say. So to say, so literally, like, I can't wait for something. Well, you can wait. If you do that, you're just gonna keep waiting. Uh, yeah, subtle things like that. You know. You know. You'll catch yourself. Watch. When you start to speak and become aware, sort of take that step back. Kind of think of like that little alien guy inside the head of the Men in Black. He's like, Orion's belt. What did he say? I don't know what he said. Anyways, I got the book here. It's giant. We're gonna get into it. If you know anybody looking for any physical healing, any serious physical healing, definitely contact me. Reach out. Any infections, viral infections, this sort of thing. Like I said, I'll have this stuff available at the store soon. Enough of this. To the show we go. Hola, buenos. Welcome to Gut Instincts Podcast. I am RJ. This is my show. This is a good one, my friends. This is a good one. This is DMSO. This is dimethyl sulfoxide. You're sitting there going, "Who's a what's a what a what a?" I don't get it. Okay. Yeah, so you take chemistry, you take science, and that's all this stuff is when you see these molecules being explained. If you just do a little, okay, my best way to explain to you the way I figure shit out. Disclaimer. Sometimes we like to get excited and talk about molecules on this show. If you want to learn about something, you get to literally the simplest, the root of it, the simplest beginnings, right? The beginnings, the soul of it, where it all starts, right? So if you're sitting there going something about DMSO, well, first, find out what DMSO is. If you don't know what that is, and you find out what it even stands for. So you say, what are the DMSO letters stand for, right? And, that's what I'm here to talk to you about right now. It's dimethyl sulfoxide, okay? And I've got my little, I've got this, not little, it's definitely, it's very giant. My book here because it's so much information, whereas I've already absorbed it, transformed it into my utilizable techniques, or sort of what's happening within my now, that for me to kind of just spit out this stuff to you, this would be it. This would all. Maybe if you talked to me 2 years ago, I could have ran circles and got us both confused, right, with the lingo. And that shit doesn't matter. This is what ekes me a little. Well, it doesn't really eke me, but this is why I'm hoping that you're resonating and you're digging my podcast, because I'm gonna try to just give it to you the way I experience it, and just hope that you resonate with it and take it the way you feel, and if you use it, you use it. If you don't, that's it. All right. So it's if you look up information about it, it says it's a wonderful solvent, okay, which will scare you if you don't know what you're looking, what it is. Right, I sort of basically, what you want to think of it as when the pulp for paper gets made, right? For the pulp, when the process ensues and the pulp gets pretty much separated from this liquid, which is the DMSO, that pulp is then processed to paper, to mills and papers and such that we use. This substance. Now think of that for a second. The substance is literally the liquid left over from a transformation that's basically taking what's a living organism at its whole and sort of separating it into two categories. And what do we really have? We know one is pulp, which is, basically fibers, right? Basically fibers. And what's separated from that is you have fibers and you have life. The life is the so as you think about that, it's like just think about that on a sort of a simple conceptualized aspect of things. Like, oh, okay, well I have this pulp which is like dead, right? And you had living wood, which is like living pulp. Living wood is like what? It's like carbon, it's pulp, it's the fibers and the liquid that's in it, which is probably like the minerals and the living electricity, or the energy, the right, the liquids that's released, and that is the stuff that permeates the skin tissues. It doesn't destroy skin remember, anything, my friends, I've learned about this. Just you have to step back again on this simple aspects of healing. Anything that's we've found out that can be utilized on the skin or tissue, and it doesn't affect it, or it doesn't have any adverse results, it's game, baby. It's game. Like, most won't even tell you that, because again, it's not, you can't make money from that stuff. Anything that I've found that it's like, oh, this can be put on our skin, wait, and there's no adverse effects. Yeah. So, DMSO, it's quite amazing. So, what does it say here? Clinical evaluation began in the U.S. in 1963, okay? 1992, the FDA still did not approve it. So, you guys, you can go ahead, and I definitely recommend looking more into this. Recommend this book even. But, essentially what I began to learn was, once you see the studies and see that the only reason why this stuff has been suppressed was because of financial gain, then you begin to go, okay, now we take steps in our own hand. I mean, most of us, if you're listening to this, hopefully you have been taking the steps into your own hands. That's why I'm here, to give you some enthusiasm as well, and some excitement. Take your mind and body and soul in your own hands, and know that, like, when you're listening to this consciousness, I mean, sure, they have white jackets, and they sit behind desks and whatever. They've spent this money, whatever, to learn these lingos. It's just your consciousness, and they've just lived their lives to move forward. And unless they had a real passion of healing something that's up, they have really no interest. I send love to all the people in the health industry, because I know there's a lot of you with a lot of passion to heal people, and that's wonderful. But this takes a lot of effort, and it's like I was thrown into it, and if I had not been, I wouldn't have known this, right? Which is why I'm hoping to share this with you, and I'm hoping that you dig it, okay, right? And I mean, we're talking, things like clinicians use a complex herbal extract and 15% DMSO to rid patients of periodontal diseases. Okay, 15% DMSO. So basically, what I've learned is 15%, 5 to 15 is your topical percentages, and then you get up to 75, which is the highest strength. You don't want to go anything more than that, because then you'll begin to burn the skin or rash or such. So there's the other thing. When you start learning about natural remedies or the potency of life, you realize you have to think on a perspective aspect. You have a flower that blooms, and the essential oils or whatever that it produces right on the leaves are healing to the skin for some way, right? It makes some sort of a warm, soothing, healing blend from the way the terpenoids or the other whatever else that's happening, right? That we still need to learn about. You take those leaves and you say, I want to bunch that up and extract it, which is concentrating it. Okay, again, you have to just think perspective. You're concentrating the leaf down to a very, very pure. What you're doing is not making it just pure, but you're concentrating it. So it's not only the most potent it could ever be, but it's the strongest it could ever be. The strongest. That's why any extracts, any herbal tinctures, anything like that, always less is more. Less is more, right? For you, my friends. So that being said, right there. So as we go, hopefully you're digging this episode as we're going through this DMSO journey. I'm kind of sharing my uses of it, because I began testing it topically on skin cuts, on not opened yet, but just sort of things of that nature, and at a low dose, and and I began adding tea tree oil and olive leaf and wild oregano oil and things of that nature, stuff like that. Just depending on what you need. Again, you just have to see, okay, I have this infection, this viral, this is affecting me, this whatever it is, besides it being the mind, because of course, we've talked about it many times, you have to do mind first, know that you're healing, follow it with the body and your gut, your instinct, and and go with it. And it's quite amazing when if you talk to anybody who loves to read, and I'm not putting anybody who doesn't love to read or anything, even if you don't love it, you don't have to love it, just definitely make efforts to, because it is only when you read, my friends, that you expand and you create that new neuropathic energy, and you get out of your ways. And no, I'm not talking about the GPS app. That's not a good one. I won't save that one. But no, what I'm saying is, because I've talked about how there is only the now moments, you want to kind of focus on little points and times, and instead of, I'm sharing with you, instead of not brushing my teeth, I gotta do it again, instead of not flossing, I gotta floss. You floss, it's you can sit there and say it, but it's as soon as you just make the move the movement. Just think of the energy. Even if you don't like to do it, like even if you're sitting there going, "Oh, I'm gonna floss this whole time. I'm gonna go terrible," right? Which sometimes we can get into our like bad moves or whatever. But that's about the switching the vibrational frequency. Switch it up, man. We'll do it together, okay? And you know what else we'll do together? Roll one up. Smoke. Roll, if you don't already. Okay. I already had this rolled up, so you know it's like can't roll one up every time with you. This I had to get ready. I was a little hesitant about making this episode about DMSO. I'm hoping you're digging it. This book is full of just lots of positive, abundant, healing stories. And that's what it's all about. Because you know what? You go to the doctors and such. Again, I don't mean to put down doctors, but we're healing right now as we light up. We're easing indigestion. We're easing heartburn. We're connecting to our higher selves and our higher spirits. We're creating a happier self, which creates a happier life surround us. See, this is why, well, you know, it's not why. There's a lot of aspects, but this is I guess essentially how cannabis would be so dangerous to the raising of consciousness, because it gives you that open-mindedness and acceptance. And really, the only bad juju that comes out is usually really 2, possibly 3. You know, I'll put 3 out there because I'm not claiming to know shit. I'm claiming to just be I'm just a writer. I'm a cannabis. I don't like to say activist, but I'm a. I am just. I am one who believes that the truth is right in front of us, and we just have to listen to each other. If there are negative vibrations associated with the use of cannabis, it's going to cause that. So here's what I was saying. 3. Bad cannabis, number 1. All right? If there's any mold, any yeast, okay? Shout out to my friends, my friend on Instagram. We need to bring awareness about the yeast and the mold factor on it that can cause someone to panic or sort of have trouble breathing or something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, some people get paranoid. Usually the paranoia is just associated with being afraid of getting caught, which again, it's just social stigma. So, which you shouldn't have that. Blessed love, my family. Just know that you are all here and we are all together. We are lighting this joint, meditating, raising our vibrational frequencies. And then, of course, the love, and then the utility that comes from it, right? All the fiber and the, oh my gosh, like over 1,000 different products comes from it. Anyways, right? So I started to see these unbelievable stories and the flawed FDA procedures that followed the years and the confiscation of files. And you know as well as I do, as soon as the government confiscates files, Tesla, I'm talking to you, we have to raise the eyebrow. We have to say something's up, because remember, the government isn't the government. The government is actually a shadow government. that is taking orders from beyond. So like I'm about the. I should write that and do a script film. Beyond the powers beyond. No, I mean we create our own reality, so I want you to be confident. This is what I did. I'm looking at a book that changed my world, like altered my reality. Like there's an RJ in another reality that did not get this book. You know, he's still laughing at it. I don't know. If you don't believe that, then you don't believe that. But remember, it's like the right way this creating your own reality and having this array of possibilities is to know that any possibility happens as soon as you think it, which is why they have the quote-unquote predictive programming, because all they need to do is have it thought. Once it's thought by X amount of people, it's a possibility in the world. But if there's enough thought on a different, it's collective consciousness. Come on, you've heard about that. You've heard about that, my friends. Okay. So, the significance, what we found, or what I've found, basically, right, is relative to its polar nature. And as soon as I made that correlation, if you will, or that connection to the wonders of DMSO and the capacity of a molecule that is of polar nature, it's fucking mind-boggling. Okay, hopefully I didn't throw you off. Basically, what that means, it has both energies. You are polar. You are a polar. That's what we talk about when I talk about the divine masculine and feminine energies kind of twisting around in that universal symbol, whereas you're kind of just sitting there at that center, that quiet center, right? More on that later. The polar nature of a molecule is astonishing. Having that ability, because it means it can attract and release, which means it can stay in motion, which means it can move things, which means it can connect the things, drop things off. Water, H2O, bent. You remember that. You remember science class. You love science. If you're like me, that bendy molecule. They'd be like, no, you gotta make sure you bend this molecule. If you don't bend it, you're getting points off, son of a bee. And I'd be like, oh, you gotta make sure you bend it. Make sure it's bent. And you know how amazing water is. If you don't, you have to. If you're coming from my Instagram, then you definitely do. But we'll talk about water again, and how important it is. I've kind of put it off because it's so goddamn important. I mean, it's I don't know, maybe the ends all, if you will. You know what I mean? Like it might be the water. That's the key. The key to the sustaining. I mean, obviously, and of course, a majority whole food, clean food, plant-based diet. Some proteins is cool in the form of like wild games and such. We'll see about the oceans. I'm still getting wigged out about that, which is sort of sad. Because I've been kind of wanting to eat some fish lately, and then I just get some awkward signs telling me about the poisons in the seas. Anyways, okay. This is going out, but it's pretty good. Hopefully you're vibrating. Hopefully you're having a blessed love time. Oh, by the way, if you haven't already checked out some of my writings at my website, do it. You might like it. I'm gonna keep up with it, but I'm doing the podcast with you, and so I'm finishing that book. I'm finishing the book. I told you about that already. All right. So basically, as I light this up and I flip forward, I'm not gonna read. I'm not reading from anything. I'm just I'm trying to. Hopefully, you didn't already be like, nah, I'm done. But try to connect the dots here. Once I began using DMSO, I began using colloidal silver as well. I began to learn the wonders of the molecules, right, on such a small level, because I have a lot of infections, a lot of bacterial imbalances. That's what was happening. Okay, that's what happened. So I had to heal infection, virus infections, huge holes, pus, stuff like that. So at DMSO, basically, it accepts hydrogen. The way the way the structure works. It accepts hydrogen. So you have to think of it as, when it gets with water, it sort of does a dance. It does this diggity diggity dance. And it does this wondrous thing where it just activates, I don't know what it does, right? Because, like I said, I'm not going to throw this awkward lingo, but it does this dance. With the water. And, it says it. DMSO in biological system is its ability to replace some of the water molecules associated with the cellular constituents, or to affect the structure of the omnipresent water. So, okay. At the same time, I began to heal with vibrational frequency and light, because I started to realize the polar magnetism and the realization of anti-gravity, or the magnetism, or whatever you want to call it, the 0 point energy that we'll talk. It's coming up. That's actually the video that I'm working on, which is kind of why if this podcast isn't that great for you, it's because I'm working on this really special video. It's really cool. I hope you like it. It'll be the revelation of the world. It's literally the answer. You heard it here first. I'm fucking claiming it with an F. Drop bomb beforehand. If you want to share it with your grandma and your grandpops and your uncle, you might want to, because you could be the person who's like, hey, check out what he said. And then when they come back and they're like, yeah, right, and in a decade from now, when we're laughing and they're going, wow, yeah, sure, you said that. See, I just got a little sign. I'm telling you, that's it. So keep an eye out for it. I'll post it up, and I'd love for you to share it, and share this with your friends and your fam. If they're into podcasts, I know I spend way too much time. See, that's the other thing too. I dig some podcasts here, and I've got to stop listening to them because sometimes I spend too much time. But okay, so yeah, I made it into ointments, and I started to see this unbelievable these effects in pain relief on my knee and my calf, and 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 some actual reversal of what was an ongoing infection and such. It was sort of pretty crazy. So it says here, in the early studies, DMSO was shown to relieve pain, reduce swelling, slow the growth of bacteria, improve blood supply, soften scar tissue, enhance the effectiveness of other pharmaceutical agents, which acts as a diuretic, right? Which is which eliminates your pain. So basically, right, dilates the tissues, causes this like excitedness or electricity within the cells, creates a charged up water cell, which when coupled with healing structures and healing energies, right, with crystals and intentions, I decided to kind of use that with extracts and all sorts of other fun stuff. And it was part of a very intense journey forward. Now, am I saying it was a cure of nothing? No, nothing is cured. There's no such thing as a cure. You have to live in love, light all the time, and just accept you as you are, and accept what you've gone through, and just don't associate what you've gone through. Don't let your now. Stop being the dense. Oh, as my buddy Eckhart Tolle would say, the pain body. Don't. You have to slip out or sort of avoid embodying the pain body, and start lightening up. That's why shifting your diet is so important. You start eating healthier. You start eating lighter, cleaner. You start releasing those that don't serve you. So, needless to say, I think that's the right term. Is that the right term, you guys? My friends, it's been a pretty crazy decade. And now that we're going into a pretty interesting time, I'm really excited to further introduce this to you in the form of some spirit medicina, some really quality, dear to my heart medicine in the form of a couple things. You'll find out. All right, you'll find out. I'm not the type of one who likes to say, "Oh, what? Keep on watching," and it's like, you're there and I'm here. We're living life, and if you're watching, if you're resonating, you're watching, and you're coming for it. And I do tell you to let you know though, so I don't know. Is that just the Aquarian in me? It took me a little while to realize that this stuff is, it's real, so. Anyways, right, as I get ash all over myself, I check out the time, and it looks pretty awesome. We're coming to the end here. And, I hope you weren't expecting for some sort of extravagant ending or anything like that, because it never ends, my friend. It only begins. Like now, and now, and now, and now. Alright, DMSO's freezing point is 68 degrees. It's pretty cool, right? Fahrenheit. For all of you who are out the U.S. country, which is just Fahrenheit. It's just dreadful. It's such a, again, it's like the U.S., it was just the last step of causing more confusion, and then it was like they would hope that we'd screw up, but we didn't. We got pretty dumb, and we still, I don't mean to put anyone, I don't mean that. You are all smart. I love you all. You are all smart. I just mean the mass consciousness. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. We're not talking about that right now. The molecule is 10-sided with the center occupied by a sulfur atom. Why is sulfur so important? Sulfur is like the backbone of life. Two methyl groups, oxygen atom and a non-binding electron pair, are located at the points of a tetrahedron. Okay, so you think about that for one more second. Take a step back. One at the two tips of this is oxygen on one and an electron pair. Interesting, huh? Because the electron's like the free range. Zipping around energy, if you will. Anyone who knows more of science than me, yeah. Go ahead, laugh at me. It's like words, right? I don't know. I have so much is in there, and that's why I tell you all, we're all smart and divine. We all know more, even more than we think we know. Because it's all in there. We're all located, we're all the same. That's why sometimes we get stupid thoughts too. But yeah, so pretty cool. If you put pure DMSO in the fridge, it turns to solid liquid, in a few hours. It's absolutely amazing. So for me, it's like what happened was I decided to look at what just makes sense and stop listening to the stupidity that's coming from those who are just out for profit. And it's like, say what you will about it. It's your life, right? It's like you could just do it and then you die. You know what I mean? Or you don't do it and then you don't die. I'm not saying everything is bad, all bad. Like we've come so amazing. We could replace hearts and such and close giant wounds. This is amazing. It's just obviously it's the egoic, darker energies. I don't know if they're, human or nah. It goes deep. You know the families that got the money, the banksters. We're not getting into that. What we're getting into is basically I use my gut instinct. This is actually one of the huge sort of inspirations, if you will, behind getting this podcast going and sort of sharing what I had to share, because it was like I wanted to scream against the wall all this information that I had. Obviously, some of the crazy stuff that I've gone deep down the rabbit hole, but then all this other personal stuff that I'm like, wait, you can use this, someone can literally benefit, change their life, because the same situations happened to me where it only took one person to mention one book, like the GAPS, Gut and Psychological Syndrome book, right, which led me to like paleo and everything, which healed gut. It was like it's all it takes. It's all it takes. One meeting, one day, one word, one one set of sentence, as long as it's resonating on the frequency of love and light. So there's my sign out to you. As I say, much peace and love, light, and I hope you have a blessed time, and this year, if you will. Although I want you to know that time is not what they say it is. I want you to take this year, if you will, because your egoic mind will definitely get that, and keep those intents positive on the daily, and keep saying I love myself on the daily, and yeah, see yourself in that position of abundance. Just see yourself, and know that all the answers are right there if you just feel like taking a look. Wait, before you go, I just want to read this one tiny excerpt of it, because I thought it was pretty cool. The crystalline structure of this solvent indicates that the presence of a weak hydrogen bond that contributes to the molecular forces in the DMSO in liquid state. DMSO seems to assume a chain-like structure held together by the alignment of two sulfur-oxygen poles. There's your poles again, my friends. This structure is believed to suffer a partial breakdown between said temperatures, since certain properties of the liquid, such as refractive index, density, and viscosity, exhibit distinct changes in their temperatures coefficients in this. Okay, so I thought it was a little more substantial in the sense of understanding it. But I know you guys are just uber smart and you got this. And I guess uber is probably isn't a great word to use, but you guys are, you guys are really smart. Basically, what I'm saying is this is an absolutely game-changing revelation, and I will have my version of DMSO mixture, my mixture that I've curated through all, everything's all organic, of course, and the best I could source. It's going to be a blend in drop form, and a low liquid blend. And I want to share that because that changed my life. So that'll be up on the website soon. rjmartins.com. I hope you're digging Gut Instincts podcast. I hope you're thinking, damn, this is actually, I've never heard of a podcast like this before. He's sort of just, yeah. Well, I'm hoping you're digging it, and I'm hoping you're thinking to yourself, like, oh, maybe I can heal this infection, or this, or that, or this problem I've been having. And, yeah, because it definitely, yep, it'll happen. We're going to do it. We're going to do it together. We're going to get clean. We're going to keep the abundance. 2017, baby, is going to be crazy. That being said, if you find it in your heart, go and donate to the podcast on the website, rjmartins.com. I truly appreciate it. I'm trying to do my best. It's only me. It's a one-man band here doing it. And so try to make it work, and I appreciate it all. I appreciate all your loves and your likes in your vibes, and big love, abundant vibrational frequency sent out to all my Instagram family and friends. You guys are all absolutely amazing. Real quick before you head out, it's like years before it was I got rid of all social media. I was just done, and I decided to enter Instagram in a totally different manner. That took me a little while to form, but once I did, I realized there's a whole family out there, and there's actually a whole yeah, you know what it is. You know who I'm talking about. My good vibe tribe, my whole loving family. All right, I'm out. I've talked your head enough about DMSO and stuff. We'll talk more about that. There's too much. Again, this book is heavy. So roll one up, my friends. Keep it vibrating at the high frequency, and shed that love and light. Peace.